Master emotional intelligence, the untapped power of empathy to transform your life. Let's start with a bold truth. You can be the smartest person in the room and still be terrible with people. You can be right all the time and still lose every argument. And you can climb every rung of success only to find yourself alone at the top. Why? Because intelligence alone isn't enough. Emotional intelligence is what separates the leaders from the loners, the influencers from the ignored. So what exactly is emotional intelligence? And more importantly, why does mastering it feel like unlocking a secret cheat code for life? Emotional intelligence, often called EQ, is your ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, while also being able to recognize, understand, and influence the emotions of others. And empathy? That's the beating heart of EQ. In this audiobook, Master Emotional Intelligence, the Untapped Power of Empathy to Transform Your Life, we'll uncover not just what EQ is, but how to build it, practice it, and live it. You'll learn how to use empathy like a superpower, to connect, to lead, and to heal. Because in a noisy world filled with short attention spans and surface-level conversations, being emotionally intelligent is like speaking in color while everyone else mumbles in gray. Chapter 1. The Silent Superpower. Most people don't realize this, but emotional intelligence isn't just about being nice. It's not about sugarcoating or being passive. It's the opposite. It takes enormous courage to be emotionally intelligent. It means pausing when you want to react. It means listening when your ego wants to speak. And it means choosing curiosity over judgment. And here's the good news. Emotional intelligence is not something you're either born with or not. It's a skill. It's trainable. And once you train it, your relationships, career, and inner world all start to shift, sometimes radically. Let's get real about some pain points. Maybe you find yourself constantly triggered by other people's comments. Or maybe you shut down when conflict arises. Maybe your inner critic keeps telling you that you're not enough. These aren't character flaws. They're signs that your emotional intelligence needs a little gym time, and you're in the right place. Chapter 2. Self-awareness is step 1. Imagine driving with your windshield fogged up. That's what life is like without self-awareness. You're reacting to things, but you don't know why. You're feeling overwhelmed, but you can't explain it. Self-awareness is the defogger. It clears the glass so you can see what's going on inside you. Start with this question. What emotion am I feeling right now? Not what you think you should be feeling, not what others are telling you to feel, but what's happening inside you. Labeling your emotions is powerful. When you name it, you tame it. Neuroscience backs this up. Putting language to our emotions reduces their intensity. So next time you feel that tightness in your chest or that hit in your cheeks, pause, breathe, name it. Is it frustration, anxiety, shame? Once you name it, you can work with it. And here's a surprising twist. Self-awareness is also the foundation of empathy. Because when you understand yourself, you create the capacity to understand others. Chapter 3. Empathy isn't soft, it's smart. Let's kill a myth. Empathy is not weakness. Empathy is one of the most strategic tools you can develop. It helps you influence without manipulation. It lets you lead without domination. And it creates a connection without needing to fix anyone. Empathy is not about agreeing with someone's choices. It's about understanding their emotions and their perspective. Think of it like this. Empathy is getting into someone's emotional shoes, not necessarily walking their exact path. It's not about you're right, it's about you make sense. In leadership, empathy drives loyalty. In relationships, it builds trust. And in your own mind, it creates peace. When you approach life with empathy, you stop taking things personally. You stop jumping to conclusions. You begin responding instead of reacting. So the next time someone lashes out at you, pause. Ask yourself, what's the story behind their reaction? What's hurting here? This audiobook, Master Emotional Intelligence, The Untapped Power of Empathy to Transform Your Life, is your blueprint for making that empathy shift. Chapter 4. Rewiring Old Programming. Let's talk about those invisible scripts that keep playing in the background. The ones that say, don't be too emotional, or being vulnerable is dangerous. These scripts are usually old, hand-me-downs from childhood, culture, or past pain. But you don't have to keep living by them. Emotional intelligence gives you the power to rewrite those beliefs, to stop seeing emotions as threats and start seeing them as signals. When you feel anxious, maybe it's not that something is wrong. Maybe your values are being challenged. When you feel angry, maybe it's not about rage. Maybe it's about boundaries being crossed. Your emotions are messengers. Don't shoot the messenger. Listen, learn, and respond. Chapter 5. The Emotional Bank Account. Think of every interaction like a transaction. You're either making a deposit or a withdrawal into someone's emotional bank account. When you listen, validate, and show empathy, you make deposits. When you criticize, dismiss, or ignore, you make withdrawals. Relationships flourish when the balance stays high. But when you constantly withdraw, whether you mean to or not, you eventually go into emotional overdraft. That's when resentment, distrust, or distance begins. Mastering emotional intelligence means becoming intentional about your deposits. Ask yourself, am I leaving this person feeling heard or dismissed, uplifted or drained? Even simple actions matter. A genuine thank you, remembering someone's name, asking about their day. Emotional intelligence thrives in the little things repeated often. Chapter 6. The Pause That Saves Relationships. Ever said something in the heat of the moment that you immediately regretted? Welcome to the club. One of the most powerful emotional intelligence tools is the pause. That moment between stimulus and response is everything. Emotional reactivity is impulsive. Emotional intelligence is intentional. The pause gives you time to choose your words, your energy, and your tone. It might only be a few seconds, but those seconds can change everything. You don't need to respond instantly. You don't need to fix everything on the spot. Sometimes the most emotionally intelligent thing you can say is, let me sit with that. In the long run, emotional intelligence isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about navigating it with grace. Chapter 7. Rewriting the Inner Narrative. EQ isn't just about how you relate to others. It's also about how you speak to yourself. Your inner voice sets the tone for everything else. Do you speak to yourself with empathy or judgment? Are you your own worst critic or your own best coach? Self-compassion is a cornerstone of emotional intelligence. It's the ability to fail without self-loathing, to feel without shame, to try again without resentment. Next time you mess up, ask, would I say this to a friend? If not, don't say it to yourself. Speak with kindness. Give yourself credit. Practice inner empathy and watch how your outer world starts to shift. Chapter 8. Emotional Agility in a Reactive World. In today's fast-paced world, emotional agility is a superpower. You can pivot emotionally without collapsing into panic or denial. It's the difference between feeling anger and becoming angry. It's the moment when you can say, I feel this, but I'm not this. Here's a real pain point. Many of us confuse our feelings with facts. I feel rejected, so I must not be worthy. I feel nervous, so I must be unprepared. But emotions are data, not directions. Emotional agility is learning to hold your emotions gently, curiously, and flexibly. You're not trying to suppress them, you're trying to surf them. This kind of resilience doesn't come from gritting your teeth. It comes from developing a mindset that says, I can feel everything and still choose wisely. Remember this, emotional intelligence doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means your pain doesn't control your behavior. Chapter 9. Boundaries are empathy in action. One of the most misunderstood concepts in emotional intelligence is boundaries. People assume boundaries are walls, but in reality, healthy boundaries are bridges. They don't block connection, they protect it. Setting a boundary isn't about keeping people out, it's about keeping the relationship healthy. It's saying, I value this connection, and I need it to respect my needs to survive. Empathy without boundaries turns into burnout. Compassion without limits leads to resentment. Emotional intelligence means you can love someone and still say no. Here's a reframe. Every time you set a boundary, you're giving someone a roadmap for how to love and respect you better. Chapter 10. Managing other people's emotions without absorbing them. Here's a big one for all the empaths out there. You are not responsible for how others feel. Read that again. Emotional intelligence includes the ability to sit with someone's discomfort without rescuing or absorbing it. You can validate someone's feelings without agreeing with their behavior. You can support someone's growth without solving all their problems. Rescuing people often robs them of resilience. This is where detachment meets empathy. EQ allows you to say, I see you, I hear you, and I believe in your capacity to figure this out. It's respectful, it's powerful, and it creates a real connection. When someone unloads their stress, anger, or pain, you get to choose. Are you going to be a sponge or a mirror? A sponge absorbs. A mirror reflects. Chapter 11. The power of emotional validation. Have you ever tried to fix someone mid-rant? How'd that go? Yeah, not great. That's because most people don't want solutions, they want to be seen. Validation is one of the most underused emotional tools we have. It sounds like, that makes sense. Of course you'd feel that way. I hear you. Validation is not agreement, it's acknowledgement. And acknowledgement calms the nervous system. It de-escalates conflict. It opens the door to real communication. Next time someone is venting, try putting your inner problem solver on mute. Just reflect. Just name what you see. Watch how quickly the emotional storm softens. Chapter 12. Emotional Intelligence at Work. Let's bring EQ into the workplace, where logic is often prized over emotional insight. Here's the truth. Emotional intelligence is not just a soft skill, it's a core skill. High EQ leaders create safer, more productive environments. They reduce turnover. They foster innovation. They inspire loyalty. Why? Because they understand people aren't just spreadsheets and deadlines. They're stories, fears, motivations, and dreams. If you're a leader, manager, or teammate, EQ can be your edge. Learn to read the room. Know when to push and when to pause. Give feedback that builds instead of bruises. Hold space during stress and celebrate wins with sincerity. Remember, the smartest leaders don't just solve problems, they see people. Chapter 15. Emotional Recalibration Rituals. Let's get practical. EQ isn't just about insights, it's about habits. One way to stay emotionally aligned is through recalibration rituals. These are small, intentional practices that keep your emotional compass pointing north. Here are a few powerful ones. Name 3 emotions you felt today, without judgment. Ask yourself, what did I need that I didn't get today? Practice one micro-moment of empathy. Text someone a genuine compliment or ask how they're doing. Reflect on one moment you paused instead of reacting. These rituals don't take much time, but they rewire your mind for emotional awareness and response. Consistency builds character, and character, grounded in EQ, shapes your entire life. Chapter 14. Teaching Emotional Intelligence to Others. The true mastery of emotional intelligence doesn't stop with self-development. It begins to ripple outward. Whether you're a parent, a teacher, a partner, or a leader, your EQ influences others more than you realize. Kids don't learn emotional intelligence through lectures. They learn by watching. Your calm becomes their blueprint. Your curiosity becomes their coping tool. Your pause becomes their permission. The same goes for relationships. Modeling emotional maturity, apologizing when wrong, validating when others are hurt, staying present when things get hard, teaches others what emotional safety feels like. And emotional safety, that's the real currency of connection. So ask yourself, how can I be the EQ example I wish I had? Chapter 15. Emotional Intelligence in Relationships. Relationships are emotional playgrounds. They challenge your triggers, reflect your blind spots, and stretch your empathy muscle like nothing else. The emotionally intelligent partner listens before they defend. They assume the best instead of expecting the worst. They're not perfect, but they're present. They don't avoid hard conversations. They lean into them with compassion. One of the most powerful EQ tools in relationships is the phrase, "Help me understand." It disarms defensiveness and opens space for truth. Remember, love doesn't thrive on flawless communication. It thrives on emotionally intelligent communication, where both people feel safe enough to be real. Chapter 16. Overcoming the Scarcity of Emotional Resources. In a world that rewards speed, hustle, and productivity, emotions can feel inconvenient. We're taught to push through, numb out, or stay strong. But this cultural scarcity around emotional resources creates chronic stress, disconnection, and burnout. Building EQ means learning how to refuel emotionally, not just survive. It means making space for rest, reflection, and relationships. It means understanding that vulnerability isn't a liability, it's a resource. The more emotionally fluent you become, the more resilient you become. Not because life gets easier, but because you're equipped to meet it with clarity, compassion, and strength. Chapter 17. The Inner Peace of Emotional Maturity. Here's the beautiful irony of emotional intelligence. The more you understand emotions, the less power they have over you. Emotional maturity isn't about suppressing or pretending. It's about responding from wisdom instead of reacting from wounds. It's choosing grace over grudges, presence over panic, and empathy over ego. When you reach that place, life slows down. Your interactions deepen. Your self-talk softens. You stop seeking approval because you've already given yourself acceptance. This is what master emotional intelligence, the untapped power of empathy to transform your life, is really about. Not just high function in communication, but inner peace. Chapter 18. Daily micro-practices to build EQ. Let's wrap up with simple, repeatable practices to integrate EQ into your daily life. Start your day with emotional check-ins. Ask, what am I feeling? What do I need? Pause before reacting. Take a breath. Choose a response, not a reflex. Name your emotions with specificity, not just bad or fine. Go deeper, ashamed, overwhelmed, relieved, curious. Validate one person a day, just one sentence of genuine acknowledgement. Reflect before bed. Ask, what did I learn emotionally today? What stretched me? What softened me? These micro-practices become macro changes. Over time, they reshape how you lead, love, and live. Final reflection. This is a lifelong journey. Emotional intelligence isn't a finish line, it's a lifelong dance. Some days you'll crush it, other days you'll stumble. But every moment is a chance to return, to refine, and to grow. If this audiobook reminded you of anything, let it be this. You are not your reactions. You are the awareness behind them. You are not your past scripts. You are the author of new ones. And you are not alone in this work, because the world needs more emotionally intelligent humans like you. So keep practicing, keep pausing, keep empathizing, because when you master emotional intelligence, you don't just change your life, you change how the world feels in your presence. And that's real power.